welcome back to the river with me, folks. So we finally have a break in the weather. It's pushing like 50 degrees today. As you can see, most of the ice has melted from the banks. So with that being said, take this day. So I'm going to take advantage of this, throw around a 1/4 ounce jig here and see if we can get on the first smallie of the year. Or anything for that matter. It's been a while since I caught anything out of the river. I'm just so eager to feel that first tug. I really hope today's the day, and I hope you guys get to witness it with me. So it's been long overdue. This has been a hard winter. Been a lot of ice, a lot of freezing temps. Hopefully I don't snap off this jig either, because it's the only 1/4 ounce one I have right now. I actually have some more coming to me by North Branch Tackle, but they haven't arrived yet. Just keep working our way up the bank here. You know how I do it on my channel. Usually just beat the bank. One thing I did do with this jig here, this is a Strike King. It's a 1/4 ounce. I believe they call it a finesse jig, but it usually comes with a weed guard on it. It's like that fluorocarbon. I actually just ripped it out that way. My hook's sticking out, so I have a better hookup percentage. Like I said, I haven't fished in a while, so whatever I catch, I'm gonna make sure I get a good hook set in it so I can land it. Won't be long though. The warm weather's gonna stay. These smallies are gonna start to move up Penge Creek, starting to get in that pre-spawn mood. So stay tuned, because you'll see me ripping some nice ones out of Penge Creek. Up the tree branch. Up the big old log. Well, at least I didn't lose my lure. With this warm weather staying, in the next couple of days, a lot of this ice is going to melt. As you can see, there's some there. It's going to melt upriver, and the river should start coming up. So if we start targeting more of the slacker water, especially when the river's cresting and coming up, should be able to find something that wants to bite. Just being a river fisherman, you just have to adapt to the changes. One thing to pay attention to when you're first starting to fish for the year, which I'm catching myself doing, if you're so excited to catch a fish, sometimes in the colder water might drag your jig a little too quick. Just make sure you're still being slow and steady in the cold water, at least until it starts to warm up a little bit. Then you can go to your spinner baits, crankbaits, and stuff like that. But if you're dragging a jig or a Ned rig, just be aware of how fast you're dragging it on the bottom. It's the key of fishing, especially with these artificial lures like jigs and stuff, is trying to mimic anything that's going to be in the water. With it being cold, we're definitely going to be moving slow. The bait, I mean, not the fish. And the fish are probably going to be pretty slow too, but you don't want to be speed crawling your jig across the bottom, because the fish is going to be like, that is not normal. What was that? Just hooked something there. Tree branch. I mean, everyone has their own techniques of fishing, so I just try to share with you techniques that I use. And so with it being coming up on the end of February and it being cold, I just like to go low and slow. Another tip I can give you too, this plastic, it has all these appendages. I don't break them loose. I keep them all connected. That way there's not a lot of movement going on with it. Tell you what, it feels so good to be back out here fishing again. Looks like I'm not the only one. Here comes a John boat. One thing I pay attention to as well, whenever I first start fishing at the beginning of the year, these colder months still, I pay attention to when I'm reeling my jig in, because if I see a bass chasing it, I know they're starting to get a little more active, then I'll start moving or start using some moving baits. It's one of the biggest tips that makes you a better angler, is just paying attention, just being observant of what the fish are doing or not doing. All in all, it's just going to make you a better angler each and every year. And this is the first warm day in a while, so I know there's a couple more warm days coming after today, so it might take a few days for these fish to get moving a little bit. If we don't hook in anything today, I'll definitely be trying again tomorrow and the next day. And I think it's going to get cold again for a little bit, and then hopefully that'll be the last of it. All right, day 2. It's the very next day. Actually have a 1/8 ounce little North Branch tackle jig tied on here with a, it's like a 2 3/4 inch tube on there. Let's start with this, and if I lose this, I have a little micro chatterbait I can toss around too. See if I can get a reaction bite. Again, just trying to get on the first smallie of 2025 here. Thankfully the wind died down, so it's not as bad today. Temperature's probably like 50 degrees right now, so a little taste of spring. I really hope today's the day I hook into one. Not a good start. I don't think we're getting that one back. Get it? I think we might have got it. It did. And the hook's still sharp. Might have just got a caught between 2 rocks. I'm just gonna work the bank up through here like I did yesterday. Sometimes they're not there one day and you fish the same spot the next day and you end up finding something, so we're gonna see if that's the case today. All right, let's give it a try here. So I switched back to a little 1/8 ounce jig here. Wasn't really feeling the chatterbait. There we go, there's a fish. What is it? Oh, it's a little musky. It's all right. Look at that, we hooked into something. I felt that little tug and I was like, oh man, here we go. Oh, he just popped off. It's all right. Little ski. Oh, I got the blood pumping. Got to feel a fish again at the end of a rod. Fortunately, we didn't get them in our hands, but heck, there's something. There's a skinny little guy there. Oh, of course that would snap off next cast. Wonder if you put a nick in my line. As you guys know, I typically show you what I'm using, and this year is no different. So I'm simply using, it's a 1/8 ounce football head jig by North Branch Tackle. I just have a 2 I believe it's a 3/4 inch tube on there. It's black, as you can see, and seems like every time I'm fishing a jig this time of year, I'm always hooking into a musky. So if you want to hook into a musky, try this jig too, or just a jig in general. It's ironic, I never would have thought I'd hook into so many muskies fishing for smallmouth. Tell you what though, it's been long overdue to hook into something, and that's that feeling I've been looking for right there. Now if we can just get a smallie to the bank. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but if it's not pouring, I'm definitely going to get back out. There's got to be some smallies moving around here soon with the weather warming up a little bit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how thick the ice has been here in the river. That's why I'm so happy to finally be back out here again. All right, before we head out, Let's give this spot a try. Now my hook's at happy. Got that one bite. Now every time I tick a rock, I think it's a fish. What the heck? Tell you what, I'm just blowing through the jigs today. One last cast. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for now. But stay tuned because the quest for our first 2025 smallmouth is far from over. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel to grow, gets these videos out for other people to enjoy. So you guys, stay fishing. I hope if you guys are out, you're getting onto some, because I have yet to do it. But like I said, this is more or less to be continued because it's going to be happening soon. God bless you, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay fishing, stay anchored.